Alright folks, welcome back. This is BalatroU every day, and today it's Gold Stake again. As always, I've got a couple other projects that I'm working on at the same time, but some things are taking longer than others, so today it's Gold Stake again. The question this month, how consistently can we beat Ante 10? Can we beat Ante 10 every time on the Gold Stake? The next deck is the Nebula Deck. One thing that's slightly disappointing to me when I'm playing on the Gold Stake, on the higher stakes, you have access to fewer resources. You have access to potentially less money. You have more drains on your resources. You have access to less deck building power. And maybe 8 antes feels like you don't have enough time to do any kind of interesting deck building. What I really like about extending this to Ante 10, if you have 2 additional antes, it's not just that you have a higher score target in Ante 10, it's not just that you have to get more points, but you have more time to do more deck building. And even once you get past the point where you no longer have any Joker slots left, you have a couple of Eternals, you don't have room for anything new, you can still squeeze out some more points by adding glass cards and steel cards to your deck. And I think that's interesting, or at least an interesting thing for me to do personally. Alright, let's jump in with the Nebula deck. Okay, we could go for hearts here, just to start. We could try to go for the straight, but it would require a 10 specifically, so I'm going to go for the flush. This flush doesn't win, and that's okay. That's typical. Alright, ship it. I think the Nebula deck is kind of like the black deck. Not as bad as the black deck, obviously, but it's similar in that it's a little bit hard to get off the ground in the early antes. Later on, the telescope is very powerful, very useful, but in the early game, we don't have anything to help us in ante 1, maybe. Riffraff helps. Let's go next. Abstract and halvesies. We could sell the Riffraff, or we can keep it. It costs me $3 plus interest, so that'll be $4, and then I can get 2 random Jokers. I think it's worth $4. Now that I've got halvesies and abstract Joker, I can do something which we never do on the Nebula deck, which is start playing pairs in ante 1. Usually you can get to the point where you're playing pairs later, but in the first couple rounds, maybe you are playing straights or flushes. Chip it with the kings. Ouch. Alright, now we're looking for a chip joker. We could do the runner with straights. I think I'm still traumatized. I think it's still with the -1 discard. I'm not a believer in straights on the high stakes. Unless I have something more significant to help me with that. I think on the abandoned deck it's great. I think painted deck it's fine. I think you know, even on the ghost deck or the zodiac deck, it's a little bit easier to do the deck building. Red deck you can play straights, but maybe not on the Nebula deck. So let's go next. Alright, we got delayed gratification, we got Jolly Joker, so if I wanted to, we can play a pair of 10s, and then finish with a pair of 5s if this doesn't already win. But we got halvesies plus 20, so should be fine. Alright, now we've got a brew. Now we're cooking. If I've got $24, I can open an Arcana pack looking for a Hermit. Fool, Hierophant Moon. Okay, I think what I want to do is turn the face cards into bonus cards. Sets me up for the photograph later, maybe. Go next. We could play 3 of a kind. 3 of a kind wins, but I'm going to play a pair instead because we are playing on the Nebula deck and we do have the telescope. Yeah, bummer. Got the high card. Well, cost me an extra hand, cost me an extra $1. Alright, we could take Grimbo as a source of scaling plus mult. I want Grimbo. I can take an Arcana pack. Let's go Grimbo first. No money, but we can go Empress on the Queen. Celestial pack guarantees me a Mercury card. It costs me interest. Is a Mercury card worth $5 to me right now? I think it is. I think not always, but right now it is. That should allow us to one-shot the next round. All right. We could get into a scenario where maybe Grimbo doesn't grow very fast if we're only playing one pair every round. So Grimbo might not stick around, but for now, it's fine. Banner might be just about the best Joker that we could find right now. Let's go Arcana first, looking for money. Death, I can make another fancy queen. I could copy a king. I could just spin the wheel. I think copying the queen doesn't seem super useful to me compared to if we get a random foil. I'd be pretty excited about a random foil. Maybe what I want to do, maybe we get rid of halvesies. That'll make it a little bit easier on us. We don't need the plus 20. If we got Grimbo, we don't need the plus 20. Also, we have Telescope. Spin the wheel. Never lucky anyway. Alright, Banner's great. I am going to take the paintbrush. It's a little expensive. It's going to cost me interest, but I think the extra hand size is great with delayed gratification and green Joker. Sorry, Grimbo. Yeah, bummer. Maybe we should just be playing high card instead of pairs. The reason why I like playing pairs is because you get more chips per planet card. Also, if you play 2 cards instead of just 1 card, you get better synergies. We could try a buffoon pack. We could probably don't need Jolly. We can take Fibonacci and just sell it for $4. 2 rentals. That's a bummer. Boss says no repeat hand types. All right. Sell the rentals and go next. Pair of 2s. All right. I will warn you right now, based on the way things are trending, this may not be the most interesting gold stake run that we've ever done. Conditions may improve, but at the moment, not the most exciting. And that's okay, that happens sometimes. Standard pack disappointment. Bummer. Go next. Alright, we can play a pair of 10s. That's the thing about Grimbo and delayed gratification and Banner, I guess. If you're not discarding, then what are you even doing? Alright. Crystal Ball for sure. On the Nebula deck, you have 1 less consumable slot. So now we have a Crystal Ball we can play normally. This one came up in the last video, Fortune Teller. I saw a lot of Fortune Teller defenders in the comments. Fortune Teller is, you know, one of my favorites or whatever people say. Here's the thing about Fortune Teller is, you know, in theory, if you have access to a lot of tarot cards, you can grow this, and any tarot card grows this. You can take the sun, you can take, you know, whatever. But realistically, if you're playing on the gold stake, you don't actually have access to that many tarot cards per round compared to something like Grimbo, where you could just play 4 hands, or maybe just play 3 hands and get +3 per round. The shops, only half the shops have Arcana packs. There's 4 different possible booster packs. Well, the Arcana, Celestial, Buffoon, and then Standard packs. And then Spectral packs are 10% of the time. But, you know, less than half the shops are going to have an Arcana pack. And when you re-roll, a tarot card only shows up 1/4 of the time. It takes about 4 re-rolls to find 1 tarot card, right? Certainly, there are situations in which Fortune Teller makes sense, and definitely on the lower stakes, Fortune Teller is fine, but also if you're playing on the lower stakes, you can win with a ham sandwich. You can win without jokers, so we can take a Hermit here for money. We can take a Celestial Pack. Probably should have taken the Celestial Pack first. We already know it's going to give us Mercury because we have the Telescope. And then I would prefer, if I get a Fool card, I would rather copy Hermit than Mercury. Anyway, Fortune Teller just grows too slowly. It's too weak in the early game when you haven't used that many tarot cards. It is retroactively scaling, so it counts how many tarot cards you've previously used. And then later on, when you get to the point where the Fortune Teller actually could do something, you're deep enough in the run that you're already invested in something else. Fortune Teller does not need to be $6. What I would do with a Fortune Teller, and I've said this a couple times, I would either change it to $4, I think makes sense, $4 same as Grimbo, or what I think would be even more exciting, and I think what you would love, what if it was +2 per tarot card? And then you keep it at $6. $6 +2 per tarot card. I think that would be more reasonable. In my experience, and when I say that, I do mean 2,800 hours of experience. Let's go trio or hiker. Hiker's pretty nothing if we're playing pairs, if we're only playing 2 cards at a time and only playing 1 hand every round, so maybe we go 1 more. Paradolia, Crazy Joker. We could just take something in order to buff up our Abstract Joker, but we know that we don't need to do that, so let's go next. Alright, here I can play a pair of 3s. No repeats, so let's play 2 pair. That way we don't mess up our Telescope. Yeah, so my Ante 10 plan is to, since I don't have any Eternal Jokers right now, just kind of coast and save up our resources and then build our deck towards something interesting. I think Golden Joker here is a perfectly defensible pick. Golden Joker just gives you $4 every round. I think if you take that, I think you won't have a bad time, especially here on the gold stake. But if I'm trying to beat Ante 10, maybe I don't take this. I think that's the difference for me. We can take another Mercury card. Pick inside an Arcana pack. Alright, I can make a gold card. We can make a gold jack. I didn't look at the boss. One thing that's like kind of nice about playing pairs is the bosses don't matter too much. Or a lot of them don't matter as much. Take the seed money. Go next. We can play a pair of 3s. We can play a pair of 5s. One thing that is nice about halvesies is if I want to not score too many points, I can play 5 cards and then it deactivates my half joker, but when I want to score, I can choose to score. I have control over it. Look at how powerful this Fortune Teller is in round 10. Wow. Even with this hashtag blessed run of having all this money, look how powerful it is. So we could take mail-in rebate, but it is a little bit, Grimbo doesn't like it. Delayed gratification banner. Maybe it doesn't really fit in with what we're doing here, with what we're currently cooking with. Obviously very strong, probably worth taking just as a foil. We have Arcana, Spectral Pack. In this position, probably go Arcana first in case we get an Emperor. We get a Hungman, so I will go aces and 2s. Hang them. And then go Spectral. Okay. Incantation is perfectly serviceable if we are playing pairs. You get random enhancements. The enhancements are equally weighted. There's 8 different possibilities, and so pretty good chance of getting another gold card, which is desirable. Or I guess a gold seal is kind of, if the thing that you're hoping for is a gold card, a gold seal kind of already does that, and so maybe we do that. We go gold seal on the king, passing on the aura, of course. Alright, go next. Anyway, you know, I've said this a bunch of times in the past, but sort of the essential problem with Grimbo and delayed gratification and banner. I have important cards that I'm looking for. I'm looking for my gold seal, I'm looking for my gold card, I'm looking for my blue seals. And if I'm not using any discards, I'm finding those cards less often. I'm getting value from those cards less often. And so what that means is Green Joker is actually draining my resources. I'm getting my money less often because I'm not using my discards. So delayed gratification gives us money for not using our discards, but we're losing money for not using our discards. Losing money for, you know, things directly like mail and rebate, or things indirectly like wanting to dig for these kind of interesting value generators. Also, it's just boring. That's it. Could take Supernova. Fun fact, if you didn't already know, the scaling jokers, the stacking jokers, they can't be perishables. But Supernova can. Supernova, because Supernova is what we say retroactively scaling. Grimbo, every time you see it, starts at 0, right? But Supernova doesn't start at 0. Supernova starts at 14. And so seeing Supernova in Ante 7 or Ante 8, you could take it and you could pick it up as a perishable. Not going to take it here because we don't need to. No reason to. Bosses play 5 cards, sure. Could spin the wheel, or we can make some lucky cards. I'm interested in lucky cards for more value generation. Always. And we have seed money voucher. Our interest cap is 50. But as long as we stay above 25, we're making enough money. The thing about having more money is, like, what are you using the money for? Mostly what you're going to use the money for is re-rolling, because there's a limited amount of booster packs per shop, and once you buy the booster packs, then there isn't anything else to spend money on other than re-rolling. And re-rolling is very inefficient money-wise. You don't get as much value per dollar compared to opening an Arcana pack or a Buffoon pack. So I like to buy all the booster packs when I can. Because there's only 2 booster packs per shop. There's a limited number of booster packs per run. Open all the booster packs and you get to do this. Pick up a blue seal and go next. Alright, we can play a pair of 5s. And then a pair of 10s probably just does it. That's it. Wow. Only takes 2 hands. That's only half of what we're capable of. We can take the devil. We can make a blue gold card, maybe. Could take a red seal and then turn it into gold, actually. Red seal jack could be useful if we get a photograph in the future. More mercury. That's it. Boss says decreased level of poker hand. That's rude as heck. Now, do you want a blue gold or do you want a red gold? Probably between the 2 of those. I'll take the money. So the difference here is if I put the gold card on the blue, then I get plus an additional $3 sometimes. If I put the gold card on the red seal, I get an extra $6 sometimes. And if I get a death card in the future, would I be willing to use death on either the blue or the red? I would do either. I would copy the red seal gold card, so it's fine. We need 2 hands here, presumably. Play the jack so we can get rid of the ace. Alright, chip it. Blue seals are something that is very strong in the in the first 10 antes. And then once you get past ante 10, if you ever want to go past ante 10, then the blue seals don't matter as much. There's a supernova. Plus 19 for pairs. So here's one of those where, okay, this would be very good for the purposes of getting us to ante 8. But is this the type of thing that's strong enough to get us past ante 10? The answer is it doesn't matter. If you can get to ante 10, you can also get a deck full of glass cards to where it doesn't matter what jokers you have. So it doesn't matter. Maybe we replace the abstract joker. Maybe we get rid of the rebate since the rebate is perishable. Obviously we keep delayed gratification because it gives us money. Here, 3s we can hang them and then take temperance for 13 bucks. All right, rebate. I could take the extra scoop gelato here, 150 chips, but it's a rental. Banner's only 60, but it only needs to be 60. We have the telescope for chips. So, yeah, I'm not into it. Let's go standard pack. Do I want a purple 6? Do I want a foil 6? So foil, useful if we're playing pairs. Purple, not great if we are trying not to discard. Could take a stone card, could take a glass king. Sure. Glass card could be useful later. Should be useful later. I can play a pair of 9s, throwing away a 5. When you're playing pairs, you want to try to break up the triples. Alright, we can play the gold seal for the first time. Chip it. There exists a point at which we can start playing high card once. Instead of just pairs, you can play high card once as a way of digging. There exists a point at which I have enough value generators in my deck where it's actually worth it to use a discard. Green Joker goes down, but then the blue seal gives me a planet card, and so my mult goes up. So it's worth it to discard? Maybe. I don't know if we're there yet, but that's something that sometimes happens in the future. 2 Arcana packs takes me down to 67. So we could do a little re-rolling. 2 rentals here we can skip, go one more. And then that's it. Could take a stencil here. I don't have a whole lot of room. Anyway, we could take a devil, make another gold card. I could use my strength. I could save it. Probably will save it. Make another gold card. Alright, I think this is a good opportunity. I can use strength on 2 queens, and that'll make it easier for me to pair the gold seal, and in the future pair the king. Sorry, the glass king. And then we can take a gold card, we can take temperance for 12 bucks, could take emperor for 2 tarot cards. So gold card, if I didn't have Grimbo, probably gold card will be worth more than 12 bucks. But, well, also we're going to ante 10, and if we're going to ante 10, then maybe the gold card's worth more then. Let's do that. Go next. Stinky. So obviously the pair is the best thing that we could be doing, but if we play too many pairs then the pairs get de-leveled, and that's not good. If we play something that's not a pair, we don't get the supernova value. So basically either way we're cooked. Bummer. I'm willing to play 3 of a kind one time. Alright, that did not very many points. So we could play the 7s with or without the stone card. the benefit of playing the Sown card is we score more points and then we get to get out of here faster. Get me out of here. Getting painful. I don't actually have a pair here. I might have to discard, which is a little bit of a bummer. I could play high card. Alright. I could play the king. I could play a full house. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this pair with the bonus card for the extra chips. Bummer. Alright, we lost 2 levels there, but we can make up for it with a consolation. Alright, next we need 60,000. 60,000 we could do with a pair 4 times. Yeah, and we got consolation now. I'm not ready to give up on delayed gratification money. Do I need the banner? I kind of need the banner. I think I have to get rid of delayed gratification, which is a bummer. It's close. It's really close to the point where we can drop the banner, but we're not quite there yet. Arcana pack we can reroll first. Take a Saturn card. Constellation is one of those things where if I invest a lot into it, if I buy a bunch of random planet cards, that is expensive, and so like that's money that could have been spent on something else. And after doing all of this investment, buying all these planet cards, then I end up finding something stronger than the constellation and I find myself replacing it. Constellation's okay. Alright, we've got 2 blue seals, 1 currently in hand. We can play the pair of kings. I'm going to play the pair of 6s first. We can throw away the lucky jack. I can play a pair of 9s, which doesn't win. I'm trying to avoid playing the glass card, but I will if it means I can get $3. Yeah, thought that might happen. Alright, getting 2 Mercury cards plus 30 chips, also some constellation scaling. Alright, we have the telescope. We already know what's in these celestial packs. We can take a Mercury card. Take a Mercury card. $5, sure. Okay. Bootstraps is too weak. Go next. Pair of 9s. So previously we were getting about 17,000 for a pair. Now 46,000 for a pair. That's a different, completely different game. I can play a jack. Looking for a pair of 10s. Chip it. Alright. You know, I'm not going to complain. Constellation definitely doing the thing that we needed to do right now. Now banner we can replace. That's another one. You know, I get it on the higher stakes when you have 1 less discard, then delayed gratification is less good. Banner is less good. But that doesn't mean that they are useless. And so delayed gratification carrying our money this whole time, and then also banner carrying our chips. 60 chips is enough. 60 chips is enough to get the job done. 60 chips was giving us a ×2 score, basically. But now we have reached Ante 6, round 17. The different jokers are going to be differently useful at different points in time, and maybe Banner is one that's pretty good in Ante 2 and 3, but then, you know, it doesn't have to stay useful forever. And that's kind of true about all commons, like even Abstract Joker is something that you want to replace later on in the run. I could make another blue seal. Now I am a little bit regretting putting the gold on the red seal instead of putting the gold on the blue seals, but it's fine. One benefit of turning the blue seal into gold is then it wouldn't be a stone card. Having the stone card was actually ended up being useful early on, having the stone card for the extra chips, but turning it into a gold card, then I would be able to use it to make pairs in an emergency, whereas like currently the stone cards, you can't make pairs with stone cards. Well, you can add them to a pair. I forgot about this. Bummer. I don't think it makes sense to play something that's not a pair, but I could check if you want me to check. Since Constellation is a ×2. Yeah. Alright, that went just about the way that you expected it to go. Right, so now we're in this awkward situation where I have a bunch of stone cards, which I can't use to make pairs. I guess I'm gonna have to play the pair of kings. Bummer. I would say the ox. Probably I forget to spend the money. I forget to spend the money more than 90% of the time. Alright. We want overstock, but I need to bounce back economically. How will we recover? I guess we just go next. Bummer. Alright. Play pair force. I could play a high card to stall, or I could just play the pair now. You can also stall by putting Constellation on the left. Getting too strong. I would like to replace Banner with something that gives me money. Delayed gratification gives me money. I don't think I would take an Eternal delayed gratification in Ante 1. Eternal, I would take it in Ante 1, but maybe not in Ante 7. Celestial packs, we should probably take them. It's going to be expensive, it's going to cost us interest, but we get not just the chips from the planet cards, but also we get the scaling on the Constellation. Alright, we can play a pair of 8s. Presumably doesn't one-shot. Well, yeah, closer than I thought it was going to be. Gold seal. I think here's a situation where it makes a lot of sense to play high card twice and then dig for the blue seal. But just want to get out of here. I do want overstock. I don't have enough money to where I can afford random planets. Can't afford it, but we can take some planets. Boss says face cards face down. Seems fine. Maybe not fine. Hold on. Hold. That's too many jacks. And they're all made of money. Now I'm sad. Bummer. I can play a pair of 10s. Alright. We could take a hungman here. We could take an extra discard. Extra discard doesn't do anything for us except for give us more chips on the banner, which is something that we don't need. I will buy the Arcana packs. I know I have seed money, but we said before, we want to look inside all the Arcana packs. Ace and 2, we can hang them. Boss says, shuffle me Jimbos. Yeah, probably I can turn an 8 into a stone card. Or a 9 into a stone card if my 8's already enhanced. Whatever's lowest. Give me a Fool. No Fool, but we can take Hermit for 20 bucks. Alright, go next. Pair of 4s. ×3 on the constellation. You know, despite how early we got the constellation, despite all the blue seals that we had, constellation only ×3. That's because it takes 10 planet cards in order to get ×1. So currently we're sitting at 20 planet cards. I would say bummer, but actually typical. Get another blue 9. Sure, it's kind of late for a blue seal, but if I'm not using my discards, then I'll add more to the deck. Makes it easier to draw them. We can replace the banner easily, pick up the ramen here. Okay, Hermit gives me 20 bucks. Death, we can copy the red jack. Red jack gives me money and then I can turn it into glass later. Maybe if that's something that you're interested in doing. I'm gonna take the money. I have abstract joker, could be replaced. Green joker even could be replaced. I have room for more jokers, better jokers, different jokers. So one more. You know, for example, we could take a baseball card, could take a Chad. The Chad is a rental. Baseball card is one that maybe I don't do a whole lot when I'm playing pairs because usually it's the common jokers are the ones that I care about, like Grimbo and Ride the Bus and Supernova, red card, square joker. Usually I have all commons, but Constellation, Tasteful, Ramen. Yeah, maybe baseball card. It's slightly better than abstract joker here. Do I want the Chad? I mean, the answer is usually yes, which is why we don't do it. We always do the Chad, right? Play. Oop, this is too much. Actually, that's my bad. That's too much. I should have played the 10. Yeah. Alright, well, we can spin the wheel. Ah, unlucky. Well, that's a thing that we could do. Photograph plus the Shad. Let's see how far we can get without that. I think we can do okay without that. Let's find out. I want Grimbo on the left. And my 2 Eternals on the left. There we go. Any pair wins. So let's play high card. Let's play the pair of 9s. And we got 2 blue seals. Alright, that's it. Endless mode. Constellation is ×3. Okay, we don't have enough lucky cards for Bartolomeo. Also, we did that yesterday. Could take a strength card. We can get extra rerolls, or sorry, cheaper rerolls. Polychrome 6 probably doesn't matter as much as having a gold card. Boss says play only one hand. Yeah, maybe, we'll see. Don't have room for a dagger. Go next. How do I want to use my strength? So I turned queens into kings. I could also turn tens into jacks. Right. I can play a high card without winning and try to get another blue seal. Right. I could play high card again and then look for, I don't know, maybe a gold card. Chip it. Okay. We can open the Arcana packs after doing a little re-rolling. I could, now I actually do have the money where I can start taking random planet cards for the constellation. Yeah, look, a soul. So, could get rid of Grimbo, I guess. Huh. Well, that's something. In the wheel, we can make another blue seal. We could make another gold king. Could make another red jack. Make another blue seal. All right, if I got the percolator, let's go one more time. Bummer. I was hoping to get something interesting to copy. Could go one more. Bummer. All right, could go one more. Ah, bummer. Go next. So, I guess I'll hold on to Uranus for now. We can play the jack. We can play high card first. Let's go high card first. Got the blue seal. Let's go ahead and play the jack. Not quite enough. Bummer. I guess I don't need all of these blue seals. Yeah, Grimbo was half of our molt, so if we don't have Grimbo, we have half as many points, and, you know, that's gonna happen, that's okay. I guess I hold the Mercury card to copy with the Percolator. That's what my instincts tell me. Buffoon pack, we can skip. And go next. Oh, I guess maybe driver's license. Maybe. Because a baseball card gives me times 1.5 on all my uncommons, my ramen is actually a times 3. Alright, go next. How about a pair of 8s? You know, we don't have Grimbo anymore. Oh, but we do have ramen? Ah, bummer. Unlucky. Blackboard would be pretty sweet, I think. Observatory would be kind of cool. Alright, now we need 2 million points, and the boss is going to be 9 million. Wow. Alright. Looking for an uncommon, but I'm not so desperate to take Midas Mask here as an Eternal. Judgment. Devil. I can make a gold king. We can definitely beat the small blind. We might need to do a little bit of shopping. Go next. How about a pair of 5s, which doesn't win. Alright, now my constellation's actually ramping up. Now it's times 5. Alright, we can play per kings. Next round, we need 3 million points. which we can do. Could take a card shark. That's a thing we could do. We could open a buffoon pack to look for alternatives. Don't need a photograph. Worse than the supernova. So let's get rid of the percolator. Pick up the card shark. Maybe even could make a steel card. We could. Go next. Alright. Pair of sevens. Alright. Pair of jacks. And I don't need to be holding on to this Mercury card anymore. Cool. So, standard pack, we don't need a king. Do we want a king? We don't want a king. Not a wild king. Okay, we can hang him. I think I have enough blue seals in the deck. I think fives, we just hang them. Now down to 48 cards. That should make it easier for me to draw my pairs. Not that it's hard for us to draw our pairs. Love taking the Tarot Merchant. I'm going to save my money. Pair of jacks. Okay. I should have made the blue seal into gold. Now we have to discard. Ow, 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 ow. I can play a pair of nines. Throwing away an ace. I have to discard again. No, I could play the pair of kings. I'm okay with that. Alright. The next small blind, I think, is 14 million. Or is it 28? Is it doubled? 29. We get the observatory, but I don't have the planet cards upstairs. That's not great. I'm looking for a fool card. Right. Empress World. I don't think Neptune's gonna help me that much. I need to get a planet card upstairs. Could use Justice to make glass. That's not super powerful, but it could be useful. One more? Bummer. Alright, we're broke then. Go next. So, I don't know if we got 20 million. 29 million. I don't know if we got that kind of gas. But, here's a pair of eights. Okay. I could save Justice for the red seal. I could play the jacks this way. That's 7 million. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe... No, 7 million times 2, that's 14. 14 and 9. I think it's going to be a little bit short still. I have 4 more jacks in the deck. Okay. Do I need to save the holographic or do we just ship it? That should be fine. Maybe could have played a stone card. That's 8 million. We're really close. Can I get another? I need 11 million here. I think the move, I think what we gotta do, gotta find that red seal. That's gonna make my ramen not good. Some might say not good. Justice. So the glass is gonna give me plus 40, then it's gonna give me plus 80. Take me up to 160 molt, which is more than what Supernova is doing. Play a stone card for a tiny bit of extra chips. And we got the 2 planet cards for the observatory voucher. Well, observatories in the shop. Okay, we take the money. I guess we can take a Jupiter card. And now with 2 Mercury cards, we should score twice as much as the previous round. So we should be what I would describe chilling. Card Shark got 2 more rounds. Boss says all clubs are debuffed. Alright, here's a pair of 6s. That's 5. The next one's going to be 15. 15 for a pair of jacks. A little bit stronger because we hit with the lucky card. Okay, so this doesn't win. Yeah, right? Okay. I can play the pair of kings. I can actually use the Mercury cards. And then get 2 more. Crystal Ball's great. Crystal Ball is a good time. Alright. Pick up Uranus here. 1 more round on the Card Shark. Go next. So start with a pair of 9s. 6.6 on the constellation. My Supernova, by the way, plus 62. We can play a pair of jacks. We can throw away an ace. The glass card did break, by the way. It's gone. Bummer. I can play a pair of queens. I can finish with a pair of kings of some flavor. I can play a pair of jacks instead, and we got the gold cards. I don't feel confident to where I can use the Mercury cards. Well, hold on. I only need 10 million, right? So if the previous one was like 20 million, I can use the Mercury card and then ship it. That was 14. Calculated. Kinda. Alright, I think that might be the end of the line. I think that might be the end of the Grave Train. We got the, 1.2 billion. I don't think we got billion. Especially now that the Card Shark's gone. I guess we could re-roll and get a constellation. No, it would be Blueprint, copying constellation. That would be the one move we have access to. So, never say never. Take a Hermit for money. Do a little re-rolling. Glass card's not going to help us anymore. In the wheel. Ah. Foiled. Foiled again. Bummer. Maybe I shouldn't take the planet cards. So I could reroll one more time. Bummer. Alright. Someone wanted to see the end screen, so here it is. RIP. Alright, folks. And that's how to beat Ante, what is it, Ante 10? That's what we're trying to do. How to beat Ante 10 without the Chad and the photograph. Yeah, I mean, it's not that complicated. You know, once you early game, you want to use a chips joker because you don't have enough chips from your hands, and then you want to get some kind of plus mult joker as well. And then later on, you switch to a point where maybe you get enough chips from your hands, and then you get rid of your chips joker. So we get rid of the banner. Then you have a point later on where you want to pick up some kind of X mult. So you drop your economy jokers, you drop the money jokers, replace them with X mult, replace your chips jokers with X mult, replace your, even later on, if you have two scaling jokers, then having one and then another one, that's a ×2. But you can swap it out, you can replace it with another X mult joker, so like a ×3 joker or something like that. There's some kind of scaling X mult joker. There's a lot of different options. Could be constellation, could be hologram, could be even the vampire. I think would be very reasonable in this particular run, because when we are playing pairs, we don't care so much about blast cards or enhanced cards, and so vampire would have been totally fine here. But you know, still able to reach Ante 10, beat Ante 10 without this sort of re-triggering X-Molt. Obviously X-Molt on jokers, but that's completely different than this re-triggerable X-Molt. Chad plus glass cards, Chad plus photograph. That's sort of what people think as the standard endless technology that allows you to get the super high scores, the super long runs. But to just beat Ante 10, maybe it's not as complicated as you're making it out to be. Take care, everyone.